Hey sis, thank you so much for joining us for A Seat at the Table. The conversation continues. I'm TaShana Samantha, the signature woman, and you are invited to the table. Hey sis, welcome back to A Seat at the Table. The conversation continues. I'm TaShana Samantha, the signature woman, founder of the SiS Network. Last week we discussed confidence and calling, but tonight we're going to continue the conversation by exploring a topic that every woman experiences, but very little speak about. It's a conversation about the process of growth. Leadership is often celebrated, but growth for some reason is often hidden. So tonight we are discussing grace, growth, and leadership. Please help me welcome to the table Minister Stephanie Burrows. And before we get into tonight's conversation, I want to invite Minister Steph just to begin with telling us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. My name is Stephanie Burrows, just as she has said, and I am the wife of Reverend Dr. Elvis Burrows, who is also the pastor of Central Zion Baptist Church and the president of the Zion United Baptist Convention. I am a mentor, a minister, a teacher, and a counselor. I love teaching women and mentoring women. I have 6 children, 4 sons and 2 daughters, and 2 daughter-in-laws and 2 granddaughters. So God has blessed me in expanding our family. And I am so privileged and happy to be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Minister Steph, for joining us. And I want to start off with a question that I asked last week. And we will continue by asking all of our guests the very same question. And that question I want us to begin with tonight is, what does a seat at the table mean to you?
That is a really introspective question. And having a seat at the table means that I am not outside. At least I am inside and at the table, and I'm not standing watching the others, but I am there sitting among others. So that means that if I am at the table, I should be involved.
Okay.
That means that I should have influence. That means that I should have some power, and that means that I should be able to help in the decision making at the table. So I would say having a seat at the table would be where you can influence others and also help in making future decisions as you go along.
I like that answer because even in your response, I could see the mentorship hat that you wear. Because I know that a part of what you like to do is helping in developing other young women and women alike. So it's very interesting that even as you respond, you exude who you are as well, and that is through mentorship. So I like that answer. My follow-up question or for you is, what role has grace played in your personal journey? Last weekend, we had a women's retreat, and we explored different topics. And not just at the retreat, but I've grown to appreciate who you are to me personally. Because I understand that being a pastor's wife is not the easiest role, but you yourself, you are also a minister, you are a mother, you are a mentee, you are a business owner, so you are juggling so many different hats and roles. So
And don't forget an author now.
and an author, yes, ma'am. So many different hats that you wear. And as I have grown and developed, not just as a mother, a minister, entrepreneur, all these different things, like I mentioned, I've grown to appreciate who you are and the grace that you wear so well.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yes, sometimes when you look outside of leadership, you can assume so much. But the closer you come to leadership, especially if you are a person who have been called to leadership, you get to appreciate the journey that leaders have to walk through. And so my question again is, what role has grace played in your personal journey?
If I would talk about my personal journey, I said that grace has helped me to give grace to others. Because many times, especially in the role that I am in as a business person and as a pastor's wife and as a mentor, I find that you have to forgive a lot. And so when you forgive others, then that grace also comes back to you. Hopefully that people would forgive you. And also, I find that I've learned to give grace to myself in ways where I probably was hard on myself, in ways that I did not believe in myself. And so that also helped me to give grace to others. So I feel like the grace that I give, I receive.
Yeah.
And so that helps me from day to day and to even expand with more grace. Because we realize today that a lot of women are wearing a lot of hats. And we find that they are in different seasons of their lives, going through different frustrations, different conflicts, a lot of things where people need grace. So if you see me one day not looking like myself, don't think that I am having an attitude towards you. Maybe that is the time I need to give grace to myself and receive grace from somebody else.
Yes. I like that comment about giving grace to others, but also extending that same grace to yourself as well. And I think that's important for women, that the same thing that is extended to others, we allow and we accept for us. That's a part of our journey. You touched on forgiveness as well. I think in leadership, offense can be so easily something that you take on, but I believe that daily, if we walk in forgiveness, I think forgiveness is a daily choice.
Exactly, I agree.
You know, because tomorrow will be a new day. Something else may come up that may rub you the wrong way or try to get you to carry offense. But I think we need to make daily decisions to forgive, to extend grace to others, because we need grace.
Exactly.
We want others to extend grace to us. So the same that we wish to receive, I think it's important to extend as well. The next question I have is, how has God used growth seasons to prepare you for leadership?
God has used growth seasons in my life in different ways. Number one, I would say, you definitely grow when you begin to have children. But let me even back up when you get married, because you are now living with someone who have a different background, who have a different mindset, maybe a different culture, and so even in that, you try to have that leadership and blending, and then. Then if you have a family and you begin to have children, that will also shape your life. And then when you begin to explore, say you go to higher education, you study more, you meet different people, you travel, all of that help to evolve as a person as you go through the different seasons of your life.
Yeah. I also think that in growth seasons that kind of prepare and shape our leadership, The experiences itself bring you to a place of understanding of what others walk through, and also relatability, right? It's one thing to preach something, it's another thing to teach something. And I think teaching comes through the experience, the journey, the walking through it, the relatability. So I think for me, I'm learning to appreciate my growth seasons, because my growth seasons have made me more relatable. So that when I minister, I'm not trying to say, oh, God is going to bring you through this. He's a deliverer and all that. No, I walk through this. I know what I'm talking about because I've experienced this. I've carried this heartbreak. I've carried these things on my back. I've gone through these situations. So I can encourage you, because I was once there in a place of pain. God used that experience to develop me, to nurture me into the leadership I am, so that when I come in contact with other women who may go through similar situations or walking through similar situations, I understand, I can relate, I can encourage, but I can tell you it doesn't stop here. There's another side to this process, and that other side is the testimony side. God does bring you out. God is a deliverer. Yes, the growth seasons feels uncomfortable. It stretches you. It's painful, all of those different things, but you're not going to die there. That is meant to expand and to bring you to a place of growth and development as well.
Yes, and not to get stuck there either.
Not to get stuck there.
Use that as a learning experience.
Yes.
Because people are watching.
Yes.
And if they are watching you, they're looking at your example and how you maybe fell down. How did you get up? How did you work it out? So all of that. So the main thing is not to get stuck, but continue going. Because these growth processes are good for us, even to help others, assist others, mentor others, and also it develops our character. It develops us spiritually. It develops us emotionally, and just like you said, it's there to help others to see, I have experienced this, so I know what I am talking about. So another growth time for me was when my husband and I, when we decided to leave our home, our island, our country, to go to another country to study for a while. And it wasn't just myself and him, it was another 5 children. And so that stretched me with the finances and knowing how to budget, because I really had to learn it, because it was only so much of a budget I could have used then. And then it helped me to learn how to be on my own more, because no other family was there. Brothers,
so that
nobody.
Support system was,
And it wasn't even WhatsApp at the time to be able to keep connected. And then it was a growth process to stretch me to get to know another culture and know that, hey, you were from the Bahamas, you are now in America, and everybody not like you, and they don't think like you. And so a lot, because I know a lot of my, the Bahamian lingo and stuff I would use, sometimes it could have been offensive to some people, not realizing that, because we always...
so awareness as well, right?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So I think it's safe to say it, caused you to trust God in a different way. It also heightened your sense of awareness, being that you're in a different culture, it's a different experience, your family structure per se, or that support system that you had was kind of removed, so you had to kind of develop a different type of system.
Exactly. The village of the family, the village of the church family, and the village of the neighborhood. Because we can probably know our neighbors in the Bahamas. Over there it's a little bit harder, because everybody is so busy and going all the time. So all of that was gone. So that stretched me in ways of really, just like you say, depending on God, relying on Him in every aspect, financially, physically, emotionally, relationship and all that. And I would say too that it was hard even on my husband and myself in the strain of the family dynamics and the busyness of each other.
Yeah.
He was busy, I was busy with the 5 children, and so that put a strain on our relationship also. And you know, the enemy would have loved that, to say, oh, they're going to Bible school and they couldn't make it, because we have heard of other people who went away to Bible school as a family and came back not as a family, you know, broken. And so we had to really be intentional and conscientious of that. But fortunately too, the environment we were in, the seminary, the schooling, they were also conscious of that, and they always talked to us about having time with each other, because they realized that people come there as a family and leave as a broken family, because sometimes say the husband wanted to study, the wife wasn't really into it, and he's so busy and she could not handle it anymore, so she left. And then sometimes too, it was not what they had expected, and then sometimes it's such a financial strain that the wife feels as though, I cannot bear this burden any longer. Whether she became the breadwinner per se of the house, or whether she felt as though, I can't live broke like this any longer. So it was a lot of variables when you take on that task.
I think there's another book there for you, the Strain of Seminary.
Yes, that was a lot of strain, because I would tell you, you know, it'd be so surprising that because we had to live on a budget, I had to go to the food store and say, well, you know, let me know when it's $30. And then I would, that's all you had to spend. And then you use some days to just cut out coupons and
I understand.
Yes,
of course, you know, I was there for a year, and the budgeting, I definitely understand, because the boys and I made going to the dollar store a treat for them on Fridays.
Okay.
So they look forward to the dollar store, but really I was budgeting.
Yes.
So I understand that completely.
But I would commend you for doing that, so that they didn't feel too deprived by being away.
Right.
At least they had something to look forward to, and that was still in your budget, which was reasonable. The dollar store, unfortunately, we don't have one here. But that was good to keep them happy.
We could have really parked right there, but I want to move on and get into some other questions. What do you think women often misunderstand about leadership? What do you think is the greatest misunderstanding that women have when it comes to leadership?
I think it may be, for me, it may be 2 parts. The first one, I would say, sometimes women see leadership as they are timid of it, and they don't want to be in leadership because it requires too much responsibility, people looking up to you, and feeling like you always have to be perfect. So a lot of women would shun from it. And then a lot of women are afraid of it too, because they feel unqualified. And so they say, I don't want to be in that position. And then on the other side of leadership, I think some women misunderstand leadership, because although you could be a leader, say as a wife, if you are leaders in a public area, you still need to know how to manage the home, and to know when you come home, you are still submissive to your husband, and the way you communicate with him, the way you treat him. You are the leader out there, maybe with a corporate company, maybe even in politics, maybe sometimes even the pastor. But when you get home, who is the leader? And sometimes I feel we take that too far and make the man feel subservient to you instead of you having it being a partner and together.
I do think that's a big one. The transition from a corporate role now back into the home. You know, I think a lot of women find difficulty in transitioning from that corporate title to now wife, and you know, submitting to the leadership of her husband. So I do see you know, some difficulty that women who are called to leadership have when it comes to managing those 2 roles. Go ahead.
And especially the personality of the husband. If he's a laid back or quiet one, it is easy for her to take the leadership role in every area. And then he will sit back. But at some point, she will get tired.
Yeah.
And so that's when the conflict can begin. Why are you not stepping up to the plate? But you was always sitting at the seat and not inviting me. So
how does a woman called to leadership, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a boss, how does she navigate those transitions from corporate to home life, where she has to take off that hat? What do you recommend?
I would recommend that, number one, always try to see if you could get his opinion and to talk. Don't always feel like you have the answers. And sometimes even if it is something you feel you can do, ask him to do it, because he would love to know that he's still useful. You still noticing him and you still see some worth. So even if you say, can you come and help me put away the dishes, or can you pay this bill, or can you take me, drive me to this event or meeting or whatever. Make him feel some worth when you at home. Like notice, valued, wanted, honored, first place. And he would feel like, okay, she values me at home, but when she goes out, she's out there doing her due. But when I come home, I feel now like I am the leader.
Yes. I saw this, I don't remember where I saw this particular scene, but it was a movie nonetheless. This woman, she was, a leader, she was very influential, but there's this scene where she goes to pick up something that she can carry on her own, but she is aware of her husband or her significant other being there and wanting him to feel as if he is needed. So she was like, oh, this is so heavy. Can you help me? Can you help me with this? And he felt so needed and as if, she needed him to lift this heavy item. But it wasn't that she could not lift it herself. She made him feel as if she needed him in that moment. And I think that's where awareness comes into play as well for women, and is key and is a part of this conversation when we talk about women being called to leadership. And I think it's a theme that I'm seeing develop, because you talked about awareness with cultural awareness when you went to seminary, but now there is an awareness as women in leadership in the home to your husband's needs as well. So I appreciate your feedback on that.
And even when you go out, if you and your husband are together and say you have that leadership role, but he's more in the background, include him. Always have him by your side. Don't walk in the front of him. When you were talking with your comrades or the others who are around, always include him and try and watch the conversation. Say if you're in politics, don't always talk about the politics, because he might not be able to be included in that conversation. So even if you are at a cocktail party and walking around, try to talk about conversations that he can join in. And even if you're around the table eating, say at a banquet or a dinner, try to have conversations and try to draw him in also. Otherwise, if you guys are just talking about what is common to all of you, the next time he wouldn't even want to come, because he's just feeling like, I'm just sitting there, I cannot join in the conversation, I do not know who you all are talking to. And as a matter of fact, you haven't even introduced me to who these people are. So introduce them, let them know this is my husband, this is my partner, this is my lover, this is the one who is first in my life. And you back a little bit, especially if you're female, and let him go forward to speak with the man.
Good. So we have a seat at the table, but it's important that we also make others feel included and as if they belong.
Exactly. Very good way to say it. That's right.
My next question for you, how do we continue growing while serving others?
Okay, now that's I like that question, because although I say I mentor, I also need a mentor. So each mentor need a mentor. And so in that, you can, when you have the mentor, someone to bounce things off or to speak to or to speak in your life, they can help you growing. Because there may be some gaps that you may not recognize that they have. And so whether it's growth in your personality, whether it's growth in your educational, whatever you want, if they know and they can say to you, you know what, it's not good the way I see how you speak with your husband. It's not good the way I see you talk with your children, or you're not spending enough time. So those are people, your mentors in your life, or people who you look up to say, you know, I believe they truly have my back and they mean me well, no matter what they say. It could hurt sometimes, but it is for my good. And so I feel that those people who can see the blind spots that you may not see can help you grow. So rely on them. And so even in leadership, as you grow, you also have that person there to help you in those times.
Okay, I like that response. Again, I heard the theme about awareness, but also accountability.
And mentorship, yes.
And that comes through mentorship. And I think through mentorship, you have to also go into it with the understanding that this person has your best interest at heart. And
find that person who does.
Right.
It isn't, just to ask. What I'm hearing now is some people would go and ask, can you be my mentor? Which is good, so that means that there's something I see in you that I feel I need, or I think you can guide me to. You know, just pick up a mentor because they can dress well, or they look well, or they have something that you want. No, it goes deeper than that.
Yeah. The conversation is flowing so beautifully, but one of the follow-up questions I have from that is, when you look at leadership, the process of leadership, your experience being in leadership, what lessons has leadership taught you about both humility and also service?
Okay. Well, I have learned to accept people for who they are, because in leadership where I am, whether it is the business or church, there are numerous personalities, and sometimes when you feel one person is this personality, they may switch on you. And so I have learned, and then again, that's where the grace comes into, to give people grace. But the personalities and getting to know them and to understand them, and then you would know better how to minister to them, or how to speak to them, what to say, or even sometimes to how far or how much you can say to them. Because without that learning the person and then having that relationship with them, it's hard for you to speak into their life if they don't believe you. Because we always say, you can have rules with relationship, but if you don't have a relationship, it's hard to give rules.
Yeah.
And so when you get to know them, know the personalities, and that is what I have really been trying to learn ever since. Whenever I meet anybody now, I say, let me get to know the personality. Talk with them, have small talks, laugh with them, and you would know. Now, sometimes the first thing you see may not be the real one. You know, and that's what throws you off, because everybody likes to give a good impression.
Yeah.
But then as time goes on, the heart will be revealed.
Yeah, because I was just going to say a lesson too is that leadership also exposes, right? You come under scrutiny when you're called to positions of leadership. It isn't just about stewardship, but you have to make sure that your character is able to sustain the roles that you're called to, because, you know, a lot of things come to light for persons who are called to leadership. Yes. And if your character is not developed, you can end up exposing yourself in ways that brings, you know, embarrassment and all these different things. Something you said, and I guess it leads back to the discussion we were having about grace. I guess it's important to extend grace as well, because I'm sure in leadership, we're talking about personalities. Not every personality or person you come in contact with, you get along with. So how do you deal with the persons or the occasions when you are confronted with personalities that you clash with, or people that you may not necessarily like?
Okay. Well, I tell you, number one, I don't think I would, that person wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Because, a person wouldn't know that, but it will be a certain way. I speak to them, and then it'll be at certain times, and it wouldn't always be where I'm reaching out all of the time. Push my way. Like some people, I do need encouragement and all of that. I'll go and try to encourage them. But if it's a person I know that the personalities don't clash, and that would happen. And it doesn't mean that they hate me or I hate them, because my personality probably isn't clashing with it, isn't gelling with everybody either.
Yeah.
And that is what I have to realize in the church, on the pulpit, standing there like I'm being scrutinized, or you're just being examined by everyone. Not everyone even is gelling with my personality, and I have to remember that too, and give them grace for that, and give them and to say that is okay.
Yeah.
Because God made us all differently. The main thing is for us to respect each other.
Yes.
And so when I give you that respect and you give me that respect, that I think we can come together.
Good.
Yes.
I always say that our differences does not have to mean discord.
Exactly.
Right? But I just want to pause for a moment and bring our audience into the conversation. As you are watching this evening, I'd love for you to reflect on this question. What area of growth is God currently working on in your life? It could be your patience, could be your leadership, faith, confidence, relationship, your ability to trust Him. What area of growth is God currently working on in your life? And I want you to take a moment and share your thoughts in the comments below, because one of the things that we've learned tonight is that growth isn't just something to resist, it's something to embrace. Many women want the platform but struggle with the process. So Minister Steph, as you think about the women watching tonight, what would you say to the woman who recognizes that God is stretching her, but she is struggling to embrace the process? So the question is, why is growth so important before influence?
Growth is important because, and I call growth also like maturity. That's how I see it. As you mature and you grow. And you first, I feel, should recognize which areas you need to grow in, because it could be a growth even of public speaking, or a growth area even of trying to be more friendly, a growth area and being able to meet people and to be comfortable with that. A lot of people are afraid. It may be a growth area and where you want to be able to be on a platform, or you want to just be able to get along with in-laws. We don't never know where the growth area is. Maybe you want a higher education. Maybe you want to say you want a better relationship with friends or co-workers or whatever it is. But whatever the growth area is, recognize that first for yourself. And if you can't recognize it, again, I would say ask somebody, a mentor or someone who's close in your life, to say, where you think I am most lacking, where you think I can grow to be able to be a better person. Some of them may say maybe just the tone of your voice, because sometimes we don't know how we speak.
Yeah.
And so first, I feel when we could ask or recognize where that is first, and then try to work on that. And I feel like these days there's so much tutoring we can get from the YouTube and different things online.
Yeah.
That we don't have any excuse. We don't have to leave our homes.
Yeah.
Some women want to be able to pray better. They want to be able to study the Bible and interpret it better. Wherever that is, you find that person and ask and look for books and people who can mentor you and guide you and be the example to get you there in your growth process. Now, for me now, I feel like still I have some growth areas to do. Number one, maybe more confidence in who I am. That's one. A lot of people don't believe that, but my husband would say that to me, because many times if someone asks me to speak, I don't know why I take them. Me? Why do you want me? And I'm just like, yes, nervous. And why? But then when I go to God and I find if I say yes, He just downloads what that person needs, because I pray. And then in a way, I don't mind that, because I don't feel pompous or like I am all that and I can do it all. So that is a way to keep me humble and to also seek grace. So I think in some areas I need a little bit more confidence, and then I also need to grow in my area of being able to still know when to say, no, I'm not going to tolerate that from that person anymore. I continue to give them grace, and I continue to be there, and I continue to get hit, and I continue to get hurt, and then someone would say, well, how long are you going to let this person take advantage of you? Because, the Bible said, shake off the dust off your feet, but I have this tendency of feeling like, oh no, I could help them. I could do it. And maybe the person have already dropped me, and I don't know.
They drop you, and you still carrying them.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up, I do have one final question, and I want you to speak to the women that is watching this broadcast this evening. What would you say to her, to that woman, to that young girl, to that sis who feels frustrated in her season of development?
I would suggest to you, if you are feeling frustrated in your season of development, go back to that. The first thing is, what have you frustrated? Why are you frustrated? Is it because of something you really want to do and you can't do it? Or are you feeling somebody is standing in your way? Or are you feeling like you don't have the finances right now? So find out, why am I frustrated? And then you ask yourself, is this the right time for whatever I want to do that have me frustrated? The people around me, what is it that have me frustrated? So identify what it is, try to see if it is the timing, and then to see if you are truly prepared. You might be frustrated because you're not really prepared. And so if you're not prepared, you don't have the timing, and you don't know what it is, go back and seek and ask God or those around you and ask them, why am I so frustrated? Am I frustrating myself? Am I allowing others to frustrate me? Or am I in the wrong time, the wrong season, don't have the finances, or not prepared? Which one is it? And answer yourself. And as you go on, try to grow from there as you answer each question.
Thank you so much, Minister Steph, for your insight, such rich conversation this evening. Before we close, I'd like to give you an opportunity to share what's next for you. What's next for Minister Stephanie Burrows?
I would say that this year, I told myself, and it was so good that we had it in our church's declaration, the time for wasting time is over.
Yes.
But and as I think about that, sometimes I feel I allow others to waste my time. It's not that I'm wasting the time myself, but I'm allowing others to waste my time. You make an appointment with somebody, they don't show up, and they didn't call, or they didn't say anything, and here you are waiting. And it's like a total waste of time because you prepared before the person came. And then you're there waiting for them to come. And then you carved out that time for them. And they did not show up. And so other people waste your time. And so for me, I really wanted to do Marriage Matters clippings instead of just the flyers I was doing. And I was working with somebody to get that done. That haven't been done yet, and I see it's June. Then I wanted to do a class with my book that was just written, a guide for new converts and for people who knew baptism, who wanted basic Bible truth. Thank God that has come to fruition. So praise the Lord for that. And so that is going on, and so I would say that those are the two that I really wanted to do, that I see that one came to fruition, the other in time. And also I have to think about the other stuff I am doing and trying to follow my husband, who wears a lot of hats to kind of keep me busy also. So it isn't all my time, but it's also my husband's time, my family time that I have to consider in trying to carve out my time.
Okay. So talk to me just briefly as we wrap up about your mentoring ministries, Princess Court. What's coming up for Princess Court?
Princess Court Mentoring Ministries is going to be celebrating its 20th year next year.
Congratulations.
So, and I'll tell you one thing that I always think about. I am 20 years older than when I started. And so that says a lot. And I really like to pass it on because I think it's time now for someone else to take the mantle. So I'm praying and asking God that I can find someone who have the passion for young girls and the passion to minister to them. Because the goal of the Princess Court is to encourage young girls to remain sexually pure before and after marriage. And some of them feel that they cannot do it, but I want to encourage them because we want to reduce the percentage of teenage pregnancy and the percentage of AIDS, HIV in our country. And so I'd really like to see if I can mentor somebody to be able to take that over. And so for the Princess Court, we were looking forward for the 20th year to have some celebrations, and also the princesses who have gone through the program and who are now have the different professions, who are in different areas of life and going on. We would love for you to come back so that we can hear from you, we can see you, you can fellowship with us, so we can have a grand reunion. So I would really like to see that for the 20th year. And Reverend TaShana, I am so happy to say that the Princess Court has grown. We now have a Princess Court in Nassau. We have a Princess Court in Holmes Rock Junior High. There's a Princess Court in 8 Mile Rock High School. And there's also a Princess Court at Bartlett Hill Primary School. So we are expanding and we are spreading our wings, and I hope to have more churches and schools join us during our 20th year also.
Thank you so much, Minister Steph, for sharing. We encourage everyone to please connect with and support this incredible work that she is doing. And again, thank you for joining us tonight for a seat at the table. The conversation continues. This has been such a meaningful conversation. Thank you so much for your experiences that you shared, your wisdom, your insights about growth, grace, and leadership. And I know that someone in the audience has been encouraged, you've been challenged, you've been inspired. So again, thank you for joining us for a seat at the table. If tonight's conversation encouraged you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're looking for deeper conversation and for community leadership development, I invite you to join the SiS Leadership Collective group. Sometimes we become so focused on where we're trying to get that we fail to appreciate what God is developing along the way. So, SiS, until next time, take your seat. I'll see you next time.